Good morning, Orlando. How are you doing today? I'm Danny DeHeck. I'm an investigative reporter based in New Zealand. This is an update, and it's a big update. We've got lots of juicy information for people who have been following the sagas of Goliath Ventures Inc. Incorporated, which closed down on the 3rd of September in Florida and reopened in Wyoming. Then you know that the Avengers are working hard gathering intel. So at the moment, we currently have 71 people in our persons of interest list. And just before I went live, I counted up the people that we have to add in there in research. And there's an additional 18 people that we'll be adding into our list. So just short of 90 people. My Avenger team is helping me do this. We want to put people who want to remain silent on notice. The people that have invested, got their principal out, and still taking funds. These people are going to be the first to be exposed. If you haven't been keeping up with current events, Goliath Ventures is a large Ponzi scheme ran by Christopher Delgado. It all began in Orlando, targeting wealthy investors, and quickly expanded to people like firemen's retirement schemes, doctors, realtors, some of them in Canada, a lot of them in Canada actually, and even in the UAE. We estimate with our research, what we've been tracking, this is a $300 to $500 million Ponzi scheme. The evidence? People keep asking us for evidence. Well, it's overwhelming. It's not even rocket science. They sold unregistered securities. They have no traders in their staff, and they're promising 4% compounded returns every month. Minimum investment $100,000. That means they're guaranteeing, if you compound your money, that you will get $60,000 return in 1 year. Unheard of. Insiders confirm there's no real trading, only shuffling of funds. On top of all this, they're operating an unlicensed money remitting service, a major AML AFT violation. So what I've got for you today is a shocker. It's a blog that I've been working on with my team of Avengers, trying to keep you in the picture. Now, we're not coming after people who have invested, who really thought it was too good to be true, but invested anyway. We're going after the people who are promoting it, the people that are quietly squirreling away their money. And the goal is to have Christopher arrested and put behind bars where he belongs. And he's got a team of Avengers as well. And we've been watching, monitoring, and doing all sorts of things to keep them going. So if you go to the description within this video, you'll actually find a link to the very blog that I'm reading. And we've put the persons of interest list actually within the blog as well. So you might find your name in there. Now, the disclaimer, just because your name's in there doesn't mean you're guilty of anything or you're going to get in trouble. It's just that you're a person of interest, you're connected to this all. I'm going to show you the people that have kept their mouth shut and why they have kept their mouth shut. So I was going to say at the beginning of this, I just wanted to apologize for the delay. We have been gathering intel and not spending our time informing the public. So I'm dyslexic, so I usually get my paragraphs read. So let's get some of this
I've been dealing
going.
with unusual developments connected to the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme, which is now imploding.
It truly is. We're even getting threats, which is a bit of a
This
laugh.
has included working with US government investigators and handling threat-to-life notices for people cooperating against Chris Delgado.
So it's midnight here in New Zealand, and I'll be getting up at 7:30 in the morning to have more meetings with US government people. So it's an active investigation. And that's why we've been working around the clock, basically gathering as much as we can to pass on to the right authorities.
Goliath Ventures Incorporated, of Orlando, a $500 million Ponzi scheme, is collapsing as investor redemption requests are being denied.
Yeah, so we have heard there's a lot of people that aren't getting their money, and we have heard there's a lot of people that are getting their money. So it's, if you've got money in it, request to get it out. There's instructions on your contract that you signed and that we've got a copy of. It's not rocket science, but whether you get your money out, we would love to know. So if you have got your money out, only take out the money that you put in. Don't take out the profits that you think you deserve, because they will be clawed back. But we'll explain that as we go
So
forward.
why are people still accepting stolen money, gifts, and uneconomical deals from Delgado and those tied to him?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of people spending the money like it's water with Christopher. And we've had some shocking stuff come through in the last week. And that's the question we're asking people. Why are people still taking money from him when they know that it's a Ponzi scheme? And this is what this blog is all about. We're literally going to name and shame individuals who are still got their hand out and taking money, which you won't believe, but this is what this blog is all about.
The contracts are full of contradictions, the audits are fake, employees are flipping and giving evidence, and the feds are close to filing indictments. Yet many in Florida continue to participate in this scheme, helping Delgado launder money and stall investors.
I got a phone call from one individual telling me that they were just waiting to see what happens. And I said to the person, you put in everything you had, you said. Are you really going to jeopardize that on a feel-good factor? And I told the person to wake up. But this is what's happening.
Anyone accepting private jet rides, bottle service, or gifts from Delgado is benefiting from stolen funds. Your involvement is being documented in real time and passed to the FBI, HSI, IRS, and other agencies. You will face lawsuits, clawbacks, and possible prison time alongside Delgado. So ask yourself, is one more jet ride worth ending up in prison?
Yeah, so the crude list that we have in this document here, which is 18 pages long of people's names and the like, these are the people that we haven't added into the list. This is the actual persons of interest list, and each one of these persons that we go into, we have a profile about and intel about them, and we hand that over to the authorities. Currently, my database is quite massive. If you go into Ponzi schemes and scams, you'll see I'm actually investigating over 200 different Ponzi schemes and scams. That's why the New York Times called me the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. And also, if you go to the homepage here, you can see persons of interest. And in here, I actually have over 600 people now, thanks to Goliath Ventures Inc. And if we go to, like America, then these are all the Americans that I've witnessed in different Ponzi schemes and scams. So that's what we do. And currently we have 7 government agents who access this information, as well as reporters. And we've got 6 different countries that have access to it. So it's quite an extensive database, and I'm quite proud of it. But every day we update the intel that we have on individuals. This is what we do. We get, these are all the plaques that people have received who have invested with Christopher, and they've got their names on them, which is stupid, but it's great for us. So we're going through all these people who have received these plaques, because everyone that invests, as far as we're aware, receives a plaque. So there's a lot of money involved. One person, as we've mentioned in previous videos, $15 million they invested, and they got $2.8 million out. And they've been very cooperative, helping us out, which is fantastic. So people are now aware that it's a Ponzi scheme, and they're notifying us, and we put them in touch with the right people. So that's what we want to do. So don't think you're in trouble just because you participated in something you thought was too good to be true. You've got to reach out to us. But if you're going to sit there on your hands like these people are about to show you, you're going to have it coming to you, unfortunately.
I've personally reached out to individuals, companies, and organizations that promoted Goliath Ventures, accepted sponsorship money, hosted events, or engaged in suspicious real estate transactions tied to Delgado's Ponzi scheme. The fact is simple. Chris Delgado and his accomplices have stolen investor money. Those accepting it are guilty by association.
Yeah, and I don't really know how when I'm talking to people, sometimes I feel like I've got deaf ears. I said, you realize it's a Ponzi scheme. There's no such thing as 4% interest monthly compounded. It doesn't add up. There's no investment in the world that actually delivers that and guarantees it and has an insurer who backs it. That's what they told people. So when I tell people that this, any money that Chris has paying for things, like if you're grooming his cars, if you're fixing his cars and he's paying you, if you're going on joyrides and the airplanes, if he's shouting you alcohol, that is stolen money. And people just don't seem to get that. They seem to think they have a right to it for some reason, or it's not going to overlap onto them. And it sits here and I bang my head against the wall and I get off the phone to these people. So wake up. You don't want anything to do with this. You don't want any association with this guy. And these companies that are sitting on the fence infuriate me. And it really is. I've got better things to do. Like right now, I'm quite tired, if you haven't noticed, because it's my nighttime. It's 12 minutes past 12 and I should be in bed. You guys are waking up in the morning going, oh, look, Danny's online. But if you've invested in this company, you need to reach out to us. Don't wait around for us to catch you, because we will catch you. And you will look real bad. And I'm going to show you the companies that haven't really done enough in my books. They haven't helped us. They've actually slowed our research down. But we've got amazing intel now. But when we started, it was like pulling teeth.
If you don't stop taking stolen funds from Goliath Ventures, I will expose you. Your names will be passed to the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, the IRS, and the media.
Yeah, and the media. So we're pretty diligent. Like a reporter does, I always give people the right of reply. That's what you're meant to do, and that's what I do. But people don't reply back. Some people I've emailed 2 or 3 times, and then they say, I don't want to be involved. And I go, but you are involved. You've invested money in it. You've promoted it to somebody. I've got photos of you with Chris. You're out celebrating with him. One of our informants, I saw their husband was at his party he had a week and a half ago. It's just crazy. People are popping up on all the birthday wishes. They're gold. All the people tagging Chris and saying, happy birthday, great times, best friends ever.
What makes this even more disturbing? Many people who invested in Goliath Ventures appear to have used money from other criminal enterprises. In all my years investigating scams, I have never seen so many large-scale frauds interlinked and hidden behind the faces of supposedly upstanding members of society.
We go to Homeland Security's heading this investigation, and I'm giving them names, and they'll say we can't use them because they've got a hidden agenda, And there's so many people's agendas. They really are trying to save their ass, and a lot of people are in deep. So it's tricky for us. We've got to sort of vet our our informants before we pass them over. So it's interesting. But anyway, let's see what are they doing.
What are they doing? We have sent formal emails, inquiries, and letters to the following, and almost all have refused to provide a straight answer.
Yeah, so it's getting a bit frustrating, but also stuff you guys. We're now going to out you. So here's the first person that has ghosted us. The silence is deafening. Here we go.
Wael Georgey, Properties in Town Incorporated whistleblowers have confirmed that Wael Georgey, the broker behind Properties in Town Incorporated, invested $1.6 million into Goliath Ventures. He successfully withdrew his principal, but continues to sit on the profits generated by Delgado's Ponzi scheme. Georgey is also aggressively recruiting people into this Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, disgusting. So this is Georgey's business, Properties in Town, Orlando business. So if you're using their services, if you're using them as your real estate agent, just bear in mind that this guy's not ethical. He's invested 1.5 to 1.7 into Christopher's Ponzi scheme, and now he's playing with the house money. So don't use that guy's business. He's not ethical. Next paragraph.
We reached out directly, offering Georgey the chance to clarify his role. So far, no response. Silence is not accountability. This is not a casual association. Georgey presents himself and his company as trusted neighborhood experts, boasting 5-star reviews, honest consultations, and deep ties to the Orlando community.
Yeah, so what is it? I've got this guy's phone number. I should ring him right now and wake him up, get him out of his bed, out of his crib, and say, what are you doing, mate? You look like you've worked hard to set up your business, got it all going, and now you're mingling with a thief, somebody who's committing serious fraud. And you're still hoping to get rich from it. You're not getting rich from it. You're stealing other people's money, even though you've got your house money out, as they say.
Yet behind the polished branding of Properties in Town Incorporated, his name is now tied to one of the largest alleged Ponzi schemes in Florida's history. You can't market yourself as a community leader, reap profits from investor money, and then stay silent when the house of cards comes crashing down. Regulators call it clawback risk. Profits made in a Ponzi are not yours to keep. When bankruptcy trustees move in, those funds are on the table.
Yeah, so keeping your money on the platform, and the platform's been up and down like a yo-yo. They believe they've got a security risk, which is quite interesting. We actually found that they turned it off for a day, and we managed to capture the back end of their system down. Another thing that may freak you out, if you are thinking that we don't know who you are, we'll tell you. This is what have we got here? Let's go to. I'll show you. This might freak you out a little bit, Wade. But if I go to Wade, persons of interest, and I search for him, and let's say Wade says, "Oh, I've got nothing to do with it." I come down here and I find Wade's email address, which is here. I go to Goliath. I go to log in. If it's open, it's been shut down. Yes, it is open. I put Wade's email address in there. I please continue. And it sends him an email telling him to check his account and look for the 00. So Wade, if you're watching this video, which you probably are right now, and you're too scared to talk to me, or you're ignoring me, you don't think it really matters, we know that you're invested and you're still invested. So that's how we are screening people. So it's quite interesting what you can find out. I think we said this last one.
Georgey had the opportunity to be transparent. He chose not to. The investors left holding the bag deserve to know who took money out while the scheme was still running, and who may now be looking the other way.
Yeah, so we know you're still there. Anyway, the next person, this one here is really funny. I must tell you about this one.
Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic. No answers, just threats. We contacted Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic seeking clarity on their relationship with Tomislav Tomo Marjanovic Jr., the clinic's founder, who is raising funds for Goliath Ventures Incorporated, and Christopher Delgado, currently under investigation for running a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, so if you went to Goliath's website and you went to their About Us page and you went to their team, you can find that he is a director of partner services. So that's what he does. You come back here, his company, which allegedly he's the founder of this location. Now we believe that we did get a video the other day saying that Dubai is his new home. But then we got another video the other day telling us that he's not moving to Dubai at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he won't be coming home in a hurry until this all settles down. But here he is. They're going to open up in Dubai. And if you come down here, you can see Orlando. And if you go to this site here, so if you're using these services, this company's unethical. The person who founded this company, I don't even know how to do this, contact us, services. Why choose Aspire? Don't know, but in here somewhere there will be a About Us section, and it tells you who's involved. And it's a shame because a lot of good people work for these companies, and now their reputation is tarnished because of the owner. What else have we got? We've got our questions.
Our questions were straightforward, focused on transparency, potential financial ties, and whether any due diligence had been performed. Aspire never responded.
No, never responded. Why wouldn't you respond? But we did get some sort of response, which is quite funny, and I'll play this to you.
Instead of a professional reply, Tomo Marjanovic posted a veiled thread on Instagram, referencing unnamed haters, warning people to be careful and cryptically noting, "You don't know who you're messing with," while avoiding any factual rebuttal.
Yeah, so if we go to this video here, so this is really funny because he's obviously getting a bit of flack from the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger and the Avengers, and he must say, "Oh, I'm going to record a video, and I know what I'll do. I'll set up my camera, and I'll just do a few pull-ups to show people how strong I am." And this is how the video started. But let's have a listen to this.
Guys, just finished my workout here outside. It's hot. We're in Dubai. It's not what I want to touch on though. I want to touch on this. So much noise going on out there. So much noise. You guys have no idea.
Well, I think we do have an idea actually. So you just call it noise?
I've recently had some personal attacks by some haters.
Now, I wonder who that would be.
that don't even know me. They have no idea who I am. They have no idea.
Well, I do know that you were married, and when your wife was 8 months pregnant, you decided to have an affair. Is that what you're talking about when you...
Wow, maybe they started smearing me, smearing people that I work with, smearing people that I'm partnered with. And
so that must be Christopher. I don't know about the people that you work with. I presume you're talking about Goliath Ventures or maybe your place. But anyway, carry on.
then even talked about my family members.
Oh, must be his ex-wife then, because I've only talked about his ex-wife. I don't even know who his family members are. Actually, every time I see Tomo, I'm pretty sure I've never seen him with another person, like a partner or something. So I can only assume that his wife that was 8 months pregnant with his baby, and then he had an affair. I don't know whether they've stayed together or they've got separated. But anyway, maybe that's a question somebody else can ask him, or maybe, Tomo, you can tell me that.
Which, crossing a line there. Be careful, guys. Sometimes you don't know who you're messing with. But
Sometimes I don't know who I'm messing with. Can you imagine going up to maybe a policeman and complaining about the ticket that you just received? And you go, you don't know who I am and what I believe, and you don't know who you're messing with. Do you think the policeman would take that lightly? So is that a threat there, Tomo?
But I digress. No matter what noise is going out there, stay on your mission. Stay on your path. Your mission has a purpose. You have a purpose. If you've discovered your purpose, do not let that negative noise ever mess with you. Don't even give it any attention. Don't give it any air. Someone's trying to start a fire in your house.
Oh, I think we've started more than a fire. I'd be interested to know whether Goliath Ventures Inc. has actually had any fresh sign-ups since I've been on the case.
Someone's trying to start a fire in your yard, in your business, but it's not real. It's just negativity.
Negativity and jealousy. I'm jealous. That was the first threat I got, that I was just jealous. A YouTuber living on the bottom of the planet is jealous of a guy that's defrauding millions of dollars from mum and dad investors, and they could only come up with, I'm jealous. They've got nothing on me. I've never invested in anything, never lost any money, and that I'm just jealous and making noise. It's just noise.
So if you don't give it air, it fizzles out.
Fizzles out. This is my 10th video. Doesn't seem like we're just getting started. As I said, we've got 18 new people to add into our database and hand over to the authorities. It's not fizzling out.
That's my suggestion to everybody. It's a lesson I learned a long time ago, but I feel great. I love the haters.
He loves the haters. It's good on you, Tomo.
I love it. Why? Just keep chirping. Keep chirping, keep chirping. I'll keep working. God bless, guys. That's a nice view.
Let's do the sign. He does the sign for the bros, because when they're all going over to Dubai, he was on the first class ticket to Dubai because he got asked to go be a speaker at a seminar, and they have this sign that they do, and that means they're tapping out. So you watch them here. 1,
Love y'all.
2. That's the bro sign. That's what they do. He loves them all, and everyone he sees smiling there, you know what the big game plan is. The big game plan is to steal your money and everyone move to Dubai. Christopher, we've been told, informed he's got 2 houses in Dubai and a Lamborghini waiting for him. So that's his exit strategy.
Appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate yours too there, Tomo. So that was sort of like a cryptic message that we just got 12 hours ago from Tomo, who's in Dubai already.
We've also received private messages from individuals with direct knowledge of Marjanovic's behavior, including his involvement with Delgado, alleged laundering through the clinic, and his history of manipulation and deceit, details we are protecting to safeguard whistleblower anonymity.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. So this inspired generated company that he's got, and also notice that they're opening up new branches around the world. They've got one in Cleveland opening soon, Dubai opening soon, all these other branches. Wonder why that would be. Well, we know.
Marjanovic's mother, Ana, has played a role in the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scam. Sources claim she has been instrumental in facilitating dubious transactions linked to Marjanovic, Delgado, and investors. This is relevant as Ana Marjanovic is now the CFO of Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic.
See how all this criminal network works? And then the last paragraph of that one.
The refusal to respond, paired with public intimidation tactics, only reinforces the need for deeper scrutiny into both Marjanovic and Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic.
Yeah, so I found this picture on the internet because he used to be a policeman, and I asked ChatGPT if it could help me spruce it up a little bit. And so this is what we've got. There's the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger putting the handcuffs on Tomo as he's been arrested, which is quite a hard case. And there's his words there. So these companies, this is very deceptive. Now, you would have probably never seen Wealth MD. Well, you might have heard about it. But remember, they set up the original one. It was actually Wealth Management. Now, Wealth MD, this is actually called Wealth Management Doctors. And this is the legitimate company, and this is a similar company. You know, the difference between the domain names is the word my is in front of it. So if you were elderly, like they targeting the elderly pension money here, we'll watch these videos and previous videos, they're actually misleading you, because if you were elderly, you probably wouldn't realize that Wealth MD is that company, not this company. And also they have this other company that we're using called Black Block, which sounds very similar to Black Rock. And once again, it's called, it's just a similar sort of strategy. This company is legitimate. This is the company. So they're using deceptive marketing practices to fool people. And it's not the first rodeo for me. And this is quite a common thing that I see the people doing. Right, the next one, it just gets worse. Do you want a Rolex? Do you realize there's a waiting list to buy a $200,000 Rolex? Do you realize that people have been bribing the Rolex and the other fancy watches that you got that are out of my pay scale, and they've been jumping the queue? So maybe you want to listen up if you're into Rolexes and you're waiting for your Rolexes and wondering why Delgado has got his Rolex and all the boys are wearing Rolexes. Have you ever wondered where that money comes from? Well, let me explain where it comes from. You may be surprised. You may not be surprised. I think there's two queues of people waiting for Rolexes. If you're in Chris's queue, you don't have to wait. And if you're a loyal customer, then you might just have to wait.
Julie Artrip, Tim Robinson, Amit Nayi. No reply. Julie Artrip works as a managing director at Rolex Boutique Millennia. She worked alongside Tim Robinson at the mall at Millennia. Both of these individuals, by virtue of Rolex's long wait times, had lists full of wealthy clients' information. They took these lists and sold the private information of their rich clients to Chris Delgado, who then aggressively used the lists to recruit people into the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme.
Didn't see you in there, Queen of Karma. Hello. I'll call you darling. Don't tell anyone. Yes, so that was amazing. So if you want to buy a Rolex, you go to this link here. All the links are in the blog. And that Rolex, I personally think Rolexes are ugly. Just saying. I think if I get stinking rich, I'll probably never buy one. But you walk in here and you buy this Rolex watch and life's going to be good. But yeah, so that's the Rolexes. So yeah, I didn't know you had to wait in a line to buy a $200,000 watch. But yeah, when you realize that you can jump the queue, or this actually gets worse. Listen to this.
It is also believed that Julie Artrip and Tim Robinson helped Delgado's friends jump the Rolex waitlist and acquire desirable watches without the usual delays.
Oh, rich people problems.
Amit Nayi, who works at Tiffany & Company, has done the exact same thing. These people have betrayed their clients to profit from recruiting victims into a Ponzi scheme. We reached out to these individuals and asked questions, and we have now been blocked from messaging them. Bad decision.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you message these people and you go back the next day and their Instagram disappears or their LinkedIn has blocked you and they don't answer you. You think if you're a legitimate company or somebody was accusing you of doing something that's a bit shady, you'd think you'd defend yourself rather than just blocking it. I mean, so this is the other one called Tiffany & Co. And that's in the mall. Is it Millennia? What they call it?
Millennia.
Millennia. But yeah, it's a pretty pretty plain website, but that's minimalistic to the T. So you can buy yourself some necklaces or some bracelets. But if you want to jump the queue, go and ask Christopher. He'll know somebody. Now, this is just a sushi shop, right? Listen to this.
Kabooki Sushi in Orlando. Kabooki Sushi in Orlando restaurant Chris Delgado has used extensively to recruit members into the Ponzi scheme. He has paid tens of thousands of dollars in bills at this restaurant using stolen client funds.
Yeah, so it's a bit tricky, this one, because this looks like a awesome business. I had a really good look through this this person's business, and he's done a smashing. He's awesome. He's got an amazing restaurant, absolutely amazing. And probably just a word of caution there is that, obviously Chris must be a big client. Sometimes you got to watch your clients, don't you? Because you don't know where that money's coming from. He might be spending other people's money like it's water and handing it over to you if you're running those businesses. But you really got to think, do you want those type of people in your restaurants? Because they tarnish your reputation. And this guy's food looks first class. This guy's restaurant looks first class. And I don't know him personally. And I'm not saying he's doing that really wrong, but it's a word of caution to anybody who, as we said at the beginning of this blog, is, touching the money that's been stolen. It's like somebody's robbed a bank and here you are letting them hire services from you. You just want to be streetwise. And most of the people we're talking to actually do know it's a Ponzi scheme, which is really weird. This one here is quite weird.
Isleworth Golf and Country Club. Delgado's $8.5 million home deal and lavish parties trace back here. We asked whether Goliath Ventures events were hosted and if members had been targeted as investors. Silence.
Yeah, so we wanted to find out how you go about getting a membership at this golf and country club. And we did a lot of research in it. We didn't get, we basically got silence. But basically, if you can afford to buy, or maybe you got a mortgage on this one as well, Christopher, you can afford to buy a house which is this big, right? That's Chris's house. When we started doing our videos, he had a party the day he got the keys. It was right down to the minute. And then they had an opening, and they had me on the big screen. What a letdown for the party, just saying. And you can see here that this is, where Chris lives. And now you've got the country club right here, which is quite interesting. So they don't let everybody join the country club. We've heard that he's not a member. But then we see him on the golf course. And we're trying to figure out, well, how can he be on the golf course? Who did have a membership and who let him in? So let's carry on. The plot thinking. So that's his 8.5 million house. That's the third house he's bought in the last few weeks. Oh dear.
Chris Delgado and Diane Despoilks recently had a party at Isleworth Golf and Country Club and staged photo shoots for a fake magazine cover featuring Delgado. Too bad Chris and Diane weren't wearing prison stripes.
Just thought I'd add that wee bit in there. But if you go to the magazine cover here, brace yourself. And there's Chris and whoever that lady is. I've forgotten her name. And you think, oh, that's exciting. So he's on the front cover. There he is. Home and, was it decor? And then they gave him a gift. He likes gifts. There it is. Some sort of credit card. But you can see the man about town. It's had 39 likes. So go there and give them a like. What else we've got? So that was all fake. I don't think there's a magazine that actually got published. All to lift his profile. All right. And then we've got a guy who goes by the name of Sanjay. Let's listen to what he's happened here.
Sanjay Srinivasan invited Delgado into Isleworth circles, and Tavistock Group should take notice of the company they are keeping. Figures like Srinivasan and Sarah Solomon continue to orbit these events, raising red flags.
Yeah, so Chris is doing a lot of fundraisers at the moment, and he's getting introduced to people at these events by people in his circles, and we're following these people. So you can see here these people, this photo's come up quite a few times. So that is Sarah Solomon, and obviously I don't know the two gentlemen, maybe somebody can tell me that, but this is what they do. He gets invited into these circles of wealthy people, and then he starts pitching, oh, what do you do? And he encourages people to invest. So this is, and this is where it really gets dirty, because the Helpful Hands charity, these are charities that rely on donations, and these guys are getting naming rights, and they're throwing money at these charities. And unfortunately, all that money will probably have to be handed back. Just because you got your money from somebody who you thought was genuine doesn't mean that the government's not going to claw that money back. So let's carry on, listen to the sad story about this, the Helpful Hands charity.
We wrote directly to this charity after learning it ran a fundraising event at Isleworth Golf and Country Club with Christopher Delgado and his leadership team, including Sanjay Srinivasan. A letter made clear that Goliath Ventures Incorporated is under investigation by Homeland Security and the US Secret Service.
Yeah, so we actually emailed the golf club 3 times demanding to know whether Sanjay had a membership, because we wanted to know whether he was the one that arranged for Christopher to be on the golf course. But our research finally showed that Helpful Hands charities were running a fundraiser. And even though they don't let just any old body be a member of their country club, the Helpful Hands charity, because it was a charity, were allowed to run an event. But wait, it gets better.
We never received a reply. That silence speaks volumes. By failing to respond and by allowing Delgado to leverage their event, the charity effectively handed him a platform to polish his image and court more investors.
Yeah, so who are you? Look at this guy. He's walking around like a Cheshire cat, and, you know, it's disgusting. But what makes it worse is we have emailed this organisation, and they have given us deaf ears. So the next paragraph is more alarming.
What makes this worse is that the upcoming evening under the Big Top 2025 fundraiser, scheduled for November 7, 2025, in Winter Park, Florida, is being openly advertised as presented by Goliath Ventures Incorporated.
Yeah, so if you go here, you can see their event under the Big Top. It's one of the big charity events of the year, and you can see it's got Goliath Ventures on it. In their defense, I will say, though, if we search for the name of this event, I did find another listing on something like Eventbrite. If I search for this here, I probably shouldn't do this in real time, but I think it's all fairness to them. Eventbrite, not Ringleader. Maybe, no, I can't find it in a hurry, but we did notice there was another place where you could book fundraiser. I'll just see if I can find it, because it would be fair. I'll put that date in there, may help. Big Top. Can't find it, but when I did find it, it actually didn't have any reference to, oh, there it is there, maybe. I don't think it is. It didn't have any events, so maybe they haven't updated this yet and they are removing it. But a simple thing would have been to email me. A simple thing would have hit reply to the email I sent you and explain that we didn't know and we're removing him from our website. Because at the moment, you're giving this guy credibility, and it infuriates me if you haven't figured that out. So let's go.
Despite federal investigations and mounting evidence of fraud, Helpful Hands is still promoting Delgado's company as a lead sponsor of one of their signature events. For a charity that claims to serve its community, continuing to provide credibility and visibility to Goliath Ventures is indefensible.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's not good enough. So this looks like an awesome charity, but when you go through here and you find that they're hosting events, so if you go to their events, there it is, upcoming events, and there's Goliath Ventures getting into another circle of people. So this photo here was disgusting, because that's obviously, we've got Sanjay, which we are assuming that he was the person promoting the charity. We assume that because it was a charity, they managed to get the event in the country club, and there's Goliath all dressed up in their whites with their logo on it, smoozing with people who have got money. And no doubt there's people even at that event on that day that would have invested with Christopher, and that's just like, you know, walking somebody off the cliff. So that's just disgusting. And also they do a lot of Realty. I'll never get that word right.
Isleworth Realty, the real estate arm that would know Delgado's property dealings. Tavistock Group is still asleep at the wheel. No reply.
Yep, so we wrote to this company here and asked them for what's their involvement with individuals like Goliath, and we've just got crickets. So if you're dealing with this company, you might want to ask them what involvement they had with Goliath, because they are not responding to our emails. We've given them about a week to respond to emails, but nothing. So I don't know why that is. But this one here takes the cake, really, and I just think this is disgusting, because this Indian American Chamber of Commerce really does seem to be playing a big part in letting Christopher, get in their community. And they haven't done a really good job. They've tried to clean up, but it's best if I read it and explain.
Jan Gautam and Indian American Chamber of Commerce, IACC Orlando. Zero accountability despite multiple attempts to engage with IACC Orlando and Jan Gautam regarding their aggressive fundraising for the Goliath Ventures Incorporated Ponzi scheme. We have received no reply.
Yeah, so we've wrote to them 3 times, and we've noticed that this explains it all. So this is
Our first formal letter requested clear answers about IACC's relationship with Delgado, the nature of any due diligence conducted, payments received, and whether the Chamber knowingly promoted an alleged Ponzi scheme at public events like Gandhi Day. We also issued a legal preservation request for all relevant communications and materials.
Yeah, still no response. So we followed up.
We followed up after noticing they had quietly removed images of Delgado from their website, but left Goliath Ventures Incorporated's logo on their homepage. We asked.
So we asked these questions.
Why does the logo remain? Does this imply an ongoing relationship? Has IACC publicly severed ties with Delgado and Goliath? Again, no answer.
Crickets.
The silence from IACC Orlando speaks volumes. They've stripped evidence from their site, but refused to take public accountability, clarify their position, or confirm whether they received sponsorship funds or referral payments from a company now under investigation by US authorities.
Yeah, you think that you'd write back to someone like myself, a journalist at least, and you would basically say that we were not aware of what you've made us, and we will start an investigation. And in the meantime, we'll remove any advertising from our website and do what we can to, to calm the farm. But they just don't do anything. It's just the silence is deafening, as they say.
We believe the public deserves answers, not quiet cover-ups. So now we'll be publishing our findings about IACC Orlando and Jan Gautam.
Yeah, no, we will. And also we're handing over our data. So this is the organisation here. And I've heard there's about 120, maybe 200 members. I used to be a Rotarian for 5 years as well. And I know what these clubs and how they work. And but if you come down the bottom here, you can see that they've still got Goliath Ventures. Now, this is the funny part. Every single one of these logos goes through to a website, but this one goes nowhere. They've removed the link, but they've still got the banner. Christopher wants this here to be something that people can see and know it's him straight away, like his brand if he was a horse company. So I think that's quite funny that they've done that. But if you go to events and you go to past events, you can see that they haven't updated the 2025 Gandhi Day. What do they call it? Sorry, I'm not very good.
Gandhi Day.
Gandhi Day. And also they've cleaned up other things that they had. So it was quite funny, really. Oh, unless this is it. Is this today? When was this? Because when Christopher turned up at this event, he donated 45,000 meals paid for from scammers' money. Outside the venue, he turned up in his Lamborghini and revved it up. So everyone announced the arrival of some guy that looked like he was a gazillionaire. I mean, is that the way you turn up when you're trying to do something good for a charity? And all these people here doing food for people who are less fortunate, and you've got some idiot turning up in a Lamborghini, revving it up outside, and it's all about him, just so that he can put another stamp and mislead people. So this one here is really big, and I was surprised. Now, we've wrote to 40 people from this department, and I didn't actually put a link through to this one, but I'll see if I can find it in a hurry. But we went to the Orlando Economic Partnership. So we went to this website, we went to the contacts, and we went to partnership contacts. And all these people, I've emailed them. So there was actually, that's one, oh, here we go. So look, so every single one of these persons, we've got their email, and I sent them a lovely email telling them what was happening. And these are their executive team, the accounting administration, the executive leadership team. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So we actually emailed 49 of them, because if you would want to tell your web person that that person there, Grace, your email doesn't work. Grace was the only person that received my email and it bounced back because they haven't added her email address in here. It actually goes to a fuddy link. These ones go to the email addresses. So 49 people I emailed from this organization, and we got no replies. And we've just said, do you realize about Goliath Ventures? And I believe if you go to their partnership page, you'll actually see them advertising Goliath Ventures on here somewhere. Now, I did find it, and I probably won't be able to find it. Business research programs, news, partnership events. I don't know where I found it, but it was actually one of my Avengers. Oh, they're taking down their partnership events. Maybe that's a good sign. Program, jobs. But, this is the sort of stuff. I mean, are you telling me that I emailed 49 people in this organization and no one has passed an email back to me and said, thank you for the email? Nothing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm actually projects and job industries. So they don't do their research very well, but this is what Christopher wants. He wants to get involved in all these communities so that he can purge the people who attend. Right, this one's pretty big.
Charities including Angels Army, Victoria's Voice, Runway to Hope, Apica Little League, Reimagine Communities, Homeless Not Toothless, Dream Lake Elementary, Apica High School, Melissa's Race to Battle Brain Cancer, Quest. Delgado parades donations to these organizations as proof of legitimacy. We asked, will you keep the money once clawbacks begin? Silence.
Yeah, so every single one of those charities, except one person, and I won't name them, they've been very helpful, have come back to us and said, we are concerned that the money will be clawed back. And I'm which I thought was quite interesting. But on their website here, this is what they've pledged and this is what they say. Now, just bear in mind, Christopher went to the White House. We heard that he paid $250,000 to get to the White House. He went there on Fentanyl Day, got his photo taken with the head of the FBI and also the Speaker of the House, Michael Johnson. Donald Trump wasn't there. Then we've seen advertising coming out on his LinkedIn and on his Instagram claiming that, misleading people into thinking that he was there for Crypto Day. The same photos he took when he went there for Fentanyl Day, that he bribed somebody to get into the White House, he's now misleading people into thinking he was there for Crypto Day. This is the sort of tactics. Now, verifying, if people want rock solid evidence, ask Christopher why he's misleading people with that type of advertising. So you got what I said? He wasn't there for Crypto Day. Photos are saying he was there for Crypto Day, but he was actually there for Fentanyl Day. And while he was there, he was an idiot. They had a dinner and he stood up and tried to be the man and pledged $2 million, which would be nothing in the White House, to the fentanyl charity. I think it was the one that was Jackie Diego's charity. So I've just gone through and I've opened up all those links. So Angel Army, I think that was. And if you know the story behind these charities, it's pretty sad, and the people's why is pretty amazing. And for them to go in there and try to, give them false hope by giving them a 2 million, pledging to give a $2 million donation. And there's all sorts of things which I can't really tell you that's going out, like, we don't even know if the donation is real, but I can't really elaborate on that, but you read through the lines if you want. So Victoria's Secrets, they've all received money. So, that's why I didn't show you. Got carried away there. If you read this line, we'll read this while we're looking at the other charities, but listen to this.
Goliath Ventures Incorporated is proud to support both local and international charities, communities, and schools. Goliath Ventures Incorporated has donated over $1 million over the past year, and more than $4 million to charitable and community efforts since 2019.
So since 2019, they've given away $4 million. In 2024, they claimed they gave away $1 million. Some of the links don't work. And we contacted one of these charities. I lied. We actually got a reply back from 2 charities, and it was this one here. And they said they had never received a donation from Christopher in the past. And then they wrote me back and apologized that they did find a donation that they did in 2023, and it was for $300. So obviously you can't see Chris's logo on this page, but this company here is on his website. He's saying that he gives $1 million away a year to charities. He's pledged $2 million to Fentanyl Day charity. And in the meantime, we find out that he's given like $300, $150 a year to a charity, and then claiming he's given away unreal money. So it's just, like, it's sad. These are amazing charities, which is pretty awesome. Oh, look, one of my favorite actors. I've forgotten his name though. I should know his name. He's my favorite actor, but he's really cool. Yeah, it's quite neat. But yeah, so some of these charities are amazing, and it's just a shame that they've been, I don't know, fooled by a scammer, by a fraudster. Let's carry on.
Ultimate Auto and Joe Labin. We did receive one partial response from Ultimate Auto, and to Joe's credit, he answered professionally. He confirmed that Delgado is a client, listed the vehicles involved, and emphasized that all work was paid in full with no partnership deals attached. At the same time, he requested anonymity, proof that even honest vendors feel the chill when dealing with Delgado.
Yeah, so nice guy. He handled it beautifully. He did everything he was meant to do, and answered our emails. He messaged me on WhatsApp. Genuine guy. I could tell by his correspondence. He obviously wasn't an investor. He was just doing a tradesman. I used to be a painter and a decorator, house painter for 10 years. And I know what it's like when you're in the industry. But these guys are doing up some pretty flash cars. And he did make a point of saying that if you look through Chris's Instagram, you can see all his vehicles. And he said, but the one that he hadn't worked on was a black Lamborghini. So obviously, if you see the black Lamborghini and think it's not up to speed, he doesn't want to take credit for that, which I thought was quite humorous in a wee way.
The reality is this: doing business with someone flaunting investor cash through Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, and Escalades carries ethical weight. Suppliers may not be knowingly complicit, but when the money fueling those upgrades comes from defrauded families, silence is not a neutral stance.
Yeah, we really want your help, guys. I mean, it's all very well. We're saying to you, that you've got 5 people who've come in and used your services. You know who they are associated to. If you're looking at my website here and you see names that we haven't got in our database, then you need to let us know. And that's what you're going to do, because what you're actually doing is you're an accomplice in a way if you don't come forward. So that's my only words of wisdom to anyone else, similar to like a guy that's, Chris has gone in there with a 300,000 or 400,000, I don't know what they cost, Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce, and he's just blown a whole lot of money and doing a whole lot of upgrades. It's easy to take the money of these people, but where does that money come from? And where do we have a sense of social responsibility to check where that money comes from? I'm not saying he should have. I'm just saying, where does that actually come from? Right. So Tyler Peters, he originally rang me up, and he wanted to find out whether it was a real investment or not. And we spent quite a bit of time saying, mate, 4% per month. No proof of any trading. There's no trader in the company. They hired a head of security. They should have hired a head of cybersecurity, for God's sake. There's no one technical in the company. And I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a video where Chris was saying he's got 200 staff. No proof of that. They don't even have offices. This is this crazy thing. So when this guy rang up, I gave him everything I could help him with to make an informed decision. But this is his company.
Tyler Peters, Galaxy Investment Co. and Luxury Jet Ski Rentals.
Right. So if you read the guy's story on his website, which I'll show you in a minute, that he's now blocked his website from New Zealand, thinking that's going to stop me. Sorry, that was dumb, but that's what he's done.
I believe that Tyler Peters plays a significant role in the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme. I firmly believe his company, Galaxy Investment, is acting as a feeder fund, raising money from unsuspecting people and investing it into Goliath Ventures, making huge profits from this scam. My conversations with Peters have been infuriating and bizarre at times.
But here's the guy who rang me up at the start, gave me a little bit of intel, told me he was invested, wouldn't tell me how much. And then just 2 days ago, I get these photos of him and his wife with Christopher and Alex. And I'm assuming that Alex and Tyler, I think I've seen a wedding photo, so I presume he was the best man or vice versa. I'm not really sure. But he's ringing up to see whether he should pull his money out or not. He's not helping me with the investigation. He's not telling me the people that are connected to. He's only worried about saving his own butt. And when we listen to that whole phone call, he admits that's all he's worried about is saving his money. Because at the start, he claimed that he's put in his whole life savings. So here's somebody that believes in it, but he's still in la-la land. And he wants me to prove. So I got to the point in the conversation where I said, well, can you prove to me that Christopher is actually doing crypto trading? Can you prove he's actually doing real trading? And it was like I was talking to somebody who just couldn't listen. And all he was saying, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved. And I said, well, how much money have you put in? 100,000? I don't want to say. Well, I know he's put 100,000 in because that's the minimum investment. So then I'd ask him another question. Are you getting 3% or 4% per month? Because if it's 4%, he's put in over 500,000. So then I research him, and then he starts sending me a whole lot of messages, and it goes a bit crazy after that. But that's not my first phone call with him, and I've recorded 3 phone calls I think we've had. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's 2 or 3. It's definitely 2. Anyway, let's have a listen to this.
I believe that Tyler Peters plays a significant role in the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme. I firmly believe his company, Galaxy Investment, is acting as a feeder fund, raising money from unsuspecting people and investing it into Goliath Ventures, making huge profits from this scam. My conversations with Peters have been infuriating and bizarre at times.
Unfortunately, I've read that twice, but I think you get the point. Now, this is what these guys do. They push other people into it, and they get a commission along the way. We don't know exactly how much commission. They all say that we haven't referred anyone into it, but there's something going on there that we can't quite figure out. Remember, we're not running the company. We haven't looked at the books because no one's looked at the books because the books aren't allowed to be looked at, So we don't know exactly what's going on. But we get these stupid people who want to believe it's true. Would you go and party up with somebody who is currently being investigated by the government for serious fraud?
When confronted about his links to Goliath Ventures, Peters claimed, "Me nor my wife have any interest in being involved in your investigation. I am a small business owner that's worked hard my whole life and put my all into Goliath. Your investigation is with Goliath, not harassing someone like me who is literally just trying to survive out here."
So trying to protect somebody from losing their money is called harassment these days. It's crazy. It really is.
But Peters isn't just an anonymous investor. He's the owner of Luxury Jet Ski Rentals, LLC, a San Diego-based company he founded back in 2013. Using the Wayback Machine, we recovered a copy of his About Us page.
Yeah, so if you ever need to, so if you go back to, so this is today, right? He's blocked me on, so he's blocked New Zealand from viewing his website. So if you ever need to find a website, yeah, just go to my website, and under utilities, you'll see there's a Wayback Machine button at the bottom. So you click on that, and you can basically drop in the domain name that you want. And if the domain name's, longer than 6 months old, you can click on that, and voila, you can go back to when this company started back in 2015. And that's what we did. So we've already been to his website, but he thinks by blocking his website. So I did send him back a text saying, you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. But you can see in a minute, obviously it's a bit slower. And we'll get rid of this big banner at the top. And we'll get rid of that banner. But there's the company and there's the website. And it's pretty much the same website that they had before they blocked me. But, there's a guy that's started a business, worked his butt off, claims he's worked hard to get it, and good on you, mate. Very entrepreneurial. And then he just hands all his money over to Christopher on a handshake, and trust me, bro. And there's no proof. So then I asked him to obviously prove that it was a genuine company. And he said, it's a bit technical for him to follow, to understand, for him to prove that he's given his money away to somebody who's doing something with it. So I said, why would you give your money away to a person like that? And that's what they do. They make it all too complicated for everyone to understand how these crypto investment things work, that people just have to trust me, bro. And it's not on. So unfortunately, Tyler, who seems like a nice guy, it's not a personal thing, him and his wife will lose their life savings to Chris. And he's over in Munich in a private jet, spending money like it's lolly water, and it's these people's hard-earned money. And unfortunately, these people won't believe me until Chris is in handcuffs.
Luxury Jet Ski Rentals provides the highest rated jet ski experience at the lowest price. We started out with one jet ski and only did daily rentals. Now we have a huge fleet of top-of-the-line rentals not only in the San Diego area, but also in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. I started this company back when I was 19 years old, with a vision to not only create the most successful jet ski rental company out there but to also make it a place that everyone loves. That public image, a college kid chasing his dream, building a small business, expanding into San Francisco, offering adventure at an affordable price, paints Tyler Peters as a model entrepreneur.
Yeah, like I said, good on you, mate. However.
But here's the issue. You don't build a fleet of jet skis by accident. You don't fly halfway across the world to raise beers at Munich's Oktoberfest with the CEO of a suspected $500 million Ponzi scheme if you're just surviving.
No, you don't do that, Tyler.
Blocking his website behind a GoDaddy firewall doesn't erase the facts. Peters has injected himself into this story. Once he appears in photos celebrating with Christopher Delgado, the claim of being just a small business owner rings hollow.
Yeah, so if you don't know what a firewall looks like, that means that you can go in there and block a certain country. So Tyler thought it was a good idea to basically, I think we'll go back on that one. Do we go forward on that one? So what he's done is he's put this GoDaddy firewall thing up. And he's blocked my IP address. Oh, look, everyone, there's my IP address. I just need to restart my router and I'll be quite good. But I don't even think he's blocked my IP address. I think he would have to block the whole of New Zealand. So what's next?
At this point, it is obvious that Tyler Peters is helping Chris Delgado launder money. It's a reminder that people who present themselves as ordinary, hardworking entrepreneurs can also be caught standing shoulder to shoulder with financial criminals.
Yeah, so if you don't know how about this money laundering stuff works, well, we're not experts, and this is just my opinion, but they need companies to put money through, and that's how they get the money. So, you notice that, Tomo has all these companies. And last night I had some intel come in, which I'll show you on the screen, which is really interesting. But this is, we've got access to some pretty amazing software. So just by dropping Goliath Ventures Inc. into the software that we're using, it's $100,000 license software, just saying. And you put Christopher in here, it tells us that he's got 9 companies. And then what we do is we come down here and we look at the Harry M. Samuels guy that we've had on other videos, and we realize that he's actually registered 474 companies, And here's all the names of all the companies that he's registered. So these guys think they're smart. So now what we do is we track every company that's associated to Christopher and then all the directors of each of those companies. And eventually we'll get a map like this of all the companies that are associated with Christopher. This software is amazing. But that's what we have access to, and this is what we use for our open source intelligence investigation. So we find all the companies and we find how they move the money around as well. It's absolutely incredible. Wish I could show you more, but we also have a spreadsheet. I think we do have a couple of other screens I might be able to show you if I still got the one. But that was the main one there, where Harry Samuels registers the company. It tells us that Goliath Ventures got 3 something or others and 9, and then it's pretty cool software. So that's what we're working with at the moment. So how about fast laps? How about cars? So this guy here, he doesn't want anything to do with us either. He doesn't want to be in the investigation, but he thinks he hasn't got a problem leaving Christopher's adverts on his car. And I said, just take them off the car, mate, and get rid of them. You don't want to be driving around the racetrack, sponsoring having a sponsor is going to be in the media very soon for running a big Ponzi scheme. I mean, wouldn't you just use logic? But I had to sit here and I'm reasoning with this guy, and there's no reasoning. He just can't quite get it. And I said, that's why you drive race cars, mate. Just to stay on track. But listen to this.
Sponsored by Goliath Ventures to advertise the brand on luxury race cars. Instead of distancing himself from a company now under investigation, he demanded hard proof, while ignoring the red flags that have already been publicly documented.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to read the red flags, but he wants somebody to tap him on the shoulder and go, hey, mate, don't drive around with that logo on because it makes you look like a dick.
Silence when faced with the facts is not neutrality, it's complicity. By continuing to carry Goliath's branding, Eric Zitzer is choosing to give credibility to a Ponzi scheme rather than protect investors and his own reputation.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, this is a family guy. Don't know if I'm bar of soap. And here he is, he's got Goliath. This is like a red flag waving in his awesome Instagram profile. It looks like he's got a nice life. He must be a nice guy to get people to sponsor him. He might be a good racing driver as well. Beautiful family. Why would you jeopardize your, everything by having somebody's logos on your car where you can't just turn a blind eye to it? You just can't take the sponsorship money so you can keep racing your cars and think that that's okay, because it's not acceptable. I mean, get this image off your website, off your Instagram. What the hell are you doing, mate? You're taking money that's been stolen from people, and you're using negligence to do nothing about it. It's not good enough, and that's what we're here for. Don't worry, we've got quite a few. This gets worse. This is about a month's worth of research that you're watching right here at the moment. Meet Diane. She's one of the best.
Diane Despoilks. Diane has a perplexing role in this scam. She has aggressively recruited victims into the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme. When contacted, she responded with absurd lies and denials, offering no accountability.
Now, let me tell you something that you might not know.
Despoilks.
Mr. Despoil, your wife's having an affair. Apparently, everyone knows about it except her husband. But let the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger break it down. So she's having an affair with a guy that is currently being investigated for his involvement in a Ponzi scheme. And I think he's been charged. It's like $15 million. So your wife's boyfriend has been charged for serious fraud of a Ponzi scheme. And now it looks like she's mixed up in doing stuff as well. So listen to this.
Despoilks has profited heavily through illicit real estate deals conducted at uneconomical prices, deals that make no financial sense outside of money laundering. It is entirely conceivable that Diane Despoilks will be indicted and go to prison for her involvement in this scheme.
People are going to prison for this. And this is why when I go back to people like Tyler, and he's humming and hurrying and waiting for, rock solid proof that it's a scam when he doesn't even know how to use a calculator. This lady here, the chances of her going to prison are very, very high. So if you're selling your house, make sure you don't use this lady's services, because this lady is selling real estate, which seems like inflated prices. Why would people do that? Leave it to your own imagination. But, these are the people. This is how they become people. I don't know. I think it's disgusting. But anyway, this lady, to me, she is disgusting. And, she's having an affair with her husband for a start. Well, not with her husband, with somebody else's husband probably. Right. Realtors. Now, Christopher has gone to people who have got communities. And a lot of the scams that I go after normally go after the Black African community who've got religious beliefs. And part of why I do what I do is because I was brought up in a religious cult. And I just don't like anyone who gaslights people into a way of thinking. I hate it. I can't stand it. And so most of the scams I go after are all the Black African community who have a real strong belief in God. But when it comes to Krista's scam, what interests me, they go after communities. And in this case, we've found that a lot of people from Remax, real estate agents, are actually, they've got a lot of contacts. And that's why Krista's gone after them. So here's another person that is a realtor doing the same thing as Diane.
Brett Kaiser, Remax Realtor. Aggressive Ponzi recruiter Brett Kaiser is a Remax Realtor who has been aggressively recruiting victims into the Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme. His actions go beyond casual involvement. He has actively helped expand Delgado's network of victims. This raises serious concerns for Remax as a brand, which now faces questions about realtors who are moonlighting in fraud while still holding themselves out as trusted professional.
Yeah. I don't think I could ever become a realtor, just saying. But here's the guy here, Brent. Keister, is it? Keister? Is that how we say it? Keister? I'm just going to have a wee stab in the dark of that one. Your website needs updating, by the way, just saying.
Brett Kaiser.
Brett Kaiser. So he doesn't have much in here. There's a beautiful house. Testimonials. I'm writing to express my sincere gratitude to the Kaiser team of Remax Alliance Group in whatever. Sounds like that's a bit pitched, but anyway. Anyway, so all the houses he's got here, open house. But yeah, they go after these guys because of the networks, but these guys are recruiting heavily, and these guys you want to watch out for. So did I get that last paragraph? Probably did.
This raises serious concerns for Remax as a brand, which now faces questions about realtors who are moonlighting in fraud while still holding themselves out as trusted professional.
Yeah, they're not professionals. They're just trying to get their hand out for more scams. All right, so now we're on to Piers Curry. Well, this one here is a crack up. This is where it gets
Piers
good.
Curry, Taylor Financial, TF Premium Finance. We reached out directly to Taylor Financial and TF Premium Finance, asking them to explain their connection to Piers Curry, a man who has promoted services tied to Christopher Delgado and Goliath Ventures Incorporated.
Yeah, now this one's quite interesting because, as I showed you before, I think we've shut them down. We'll shut down some of these so I don't get distracted. Oh, there he is again. Just a strong man. He's going to come and get me. Oh, there he is. I always wondered why his head was really small. You notice that big people like that, bodies are big and their heads are small? Just saying. Yeah, so there we've got Black Rock, which is a legitimate company. And then you got Black Rock. Oh, confusing. And then you've also got Wealth MD, a legitimate company. And then they've come up with one that's called Wealth MD as well, but they've just got a domain name with My Wealth MD. And then we'll get rid of, we'll leave Chris's up. Might need to come back to that. But here we are. So Mr. Curry, that was a really good one. So we've gone to Taylor Financial, and also they've got another, it seems like another division, a premium service called TF Premium Finance. And these are financial advisors. Just to give you a wee look here, this is their team. This is 2 years ago. We can see that he's just such a greaseball. But this is the worst, the slimiest. I don't even know how to describe him, but he just looks like a greaseball. But he was heavily involved. Now, this company, he used to work there probably 2 years ago. All they had to do, Adam, was write back to me and say he doesn't work here anymore. He left, blah, 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 blah. That's all we wanted you to do. But you chose to ignore us. And it gets worse. They didn't just ignore us. Listen to what this company did. So these are all the companies that they were associated with.
Curry has been linked to names like Wealth MD and Black Block, while pointing people toward premiumfinance.com and taylorfinancial.com, despite evidence he is not licensed to provide financial services.
So we found out that this guy wasn't even registered he's not a regulated financial advisor. And when we did our videos way back, he was standing up in front of everyone saying he's been doing this for 40 years. And a lot of my mates have been struck off because they haven't done it properly, and you've got to make sure you do it right and all this sort of carry on. The guy wasn't even registered as a registered, who he's claiming he was. He wasn't, he's nobody. He's just like, he hasn't got a current working license. So we did a bit of searching around the internet, and then we found their website here. And what did I do? I put it in the Wayback Machine, like I showed you before. And we found the old version of the website, and then up comes the photo. Just about fell over. I'm looking at these people going, do I recognize anybody? And there's that greasy face of Mr. Perry. So Taylor Financial, shame on you. All you need to do is give us an email, Adam. The owner of the company is called Adam. And we emailed everyone in the company as well. And then we emailed these 4 people, wherever they have gone to, what we are, who we are. So these 4 people, and it got crickets from all of them. No one had the balls to write to us and say that he is a terrible man and we left him, we kicked him out of our company. Why couldn't you do that? So now you're named and shamed, and you'll have your domain names come up. So when you search for your company, this blog will come up. People can read that we asked you for information. We asked you to help, and you just gave us deaf ears. What type of service are you offering? So, as I think I've already highlighted, the service.
The response? Silence. Not a single reply. Instead of answering legitimate questions, the company quietly scrubbed Curry's profile and photos from LinkedIn. That's not transparency. That's damage control. So we ask the obvious. If there's nothing to hide, why erase him from the record instead of giving a straight answer?
Yeah, I understand if you don't want to associate. Hey, but maybe, this is just my investigation skills. Do you know anyone in this picture who may have invested in Goliath Ventures? Hey? If any of these people, did you invest in it and you're keeping quiet? Is that what's happened here? We don't know because you didn't tell us anything. And you still can write to us. Love to know. Now, this is where it gets a bit X-rated. But we have had every single person that is anybody who's invested seems to come back to this London house connection. And it's not in London, in case you're just watching this from New Zealand. It's in Orlando. So listen to this and we'll get straight into it.
The London House connection, a venue that keeps coming up in Delgado's orbit, is London House, an Orlando gentleman's club. The club has become a hotspot for Delgado and his circle, where investor prospects are entertained with the usual lifestyle theatre, bottles, tables, pretty women, and the illusion of limitless wealth. Several women who worked at London House have admitted to having sex with Chris Delgado for money. There are also serious allegations of the club being a centre for sex trafficking for wealthy patrons.
Right. So I'll just bring that up so I don't lose where we are. But I want to show you one of the lovely ladies who works at this is the lady. This lady here is, well, I don't know if it's his current girlfriend. We've got a profile on her. But she's the door lady. She's the lady you meet at the London Club when you're on the way in. She's currently servicing Diego. So, yeah, and looks like she's about falling out of her top. And if you go back to my little, actually, if I go here, 1 minute, please, caller, you can actually see I did something clever today. Let's see if I can find it. Yep. So, see the girl, the dress, right? So that is her. I'll go to there. So that dress that you see, I said when I tried to match the dress. Pretty clever, isn't it? That's what you can do with ChatGPT if you know how to give it commands. And that's Christopher being arrested by the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger, and they're raiding the plane, and they got all the people who went for joyrides on the plane. They're getting prosecuted as well. But don't look very happy there. And notice he's even got his little wee triangle on there. But she looks pretty upset, and they've still got the champagne open. I made a point of doing that. So yeah. So let's carry on. So let's carry on about that. So the London House stuff, that's massive. We've learned a lot about the London House, and we've wrote to the London House, and once again, nothing. Didn't want to talk to us.
Goliath Ventures employees even call London House their office. Delgado has paid large sums of money to the company that owns the club, using stolen investor money. And the response from SG and company: no comment. Here's the person of interest section cleaned up for readability with light bolding to guide the eye.
So there you go. The old ChatGPT didn't work that time. So I'm just going to go edit that. So we wrote to the guy that owns the London House, and we got nothing, back. So that was quite sad. I'll just get down to that name and shame list. Now, just bear in mind here. Here's the person. No comment. Person of interest. There we go. That's better. What am I doing? I go through it before I publish my blogs, make sure that I never deny I use ChatGPT, but I hate it when I leave paragraphs in. So just within that few seconds, boom. And now I'll have to go edit all the other places I posted it. Never mind. I'll do that when I get some sleep. Anyway, so persons of interest. The following names continue to surface in connection with Christopher Delgado and Goliath Ventures Ponzi scheme. So I am actually going to read these names because some of the names sound funny when you get the when you get it read. But just to give you an idea, I think this is probably 65 people, and as I said, we've got 71 in the database, and I've got another 18 to add, so we're nearly up to 90. But we'll give you a few names of people, just people of interest.
Christopher Delgado, Nicholas Petrillo, Tomislav Tomo Marjanovic Jr., Michael Chmielewski, Matthew Malcolms, David Panzik, Michael Hernandez, Stephanie Hernandez, Stephen Davis, Punit Shah, James Delgado, Sanjay Samsrinivasan, Amit Nai, Matt Burks, Piers Curry, Vince Gratta, Marty Berthelmer, Ontario, Canada, Jason J. Newton, Canada, Alex Bucalo, Jonathan Mason, Tyre Brezeppa, Casey Holiday, Dante Spitaleri, convicted criminal and Goliath super recruiter, Sarah Solomon, Marshall Terran, John M. Choice, Brandon Bass, Aaron Thornton, Gary Rice, Michael Volchuk, Vance Fundora, Fabian Kumpush, Romy Moadi, Wael Georgey, Hunter Smelback, Nadia Lavi-Bringas, Jason Derulo, Lee and Howe, Diane Despoilks, Harry M. Samuels, Martinette Mitchell, Kat Blazik, John T. Lilly, Jamie and Matthew, Lurch, Chrissy and Matt Meehan, Carlo Medina, Jackie Siegel, Julie Artrip, Shayla Farnsworth, Isaac Babb, Dr. Newkirth Harrison, Shumaila Assad, Tiffany Newen, Denise and Lance Noriega, Joseph Laban, Lothar Esteen, German business mogul, Michael Carter Williams, Juan Carlos, Narav Patel, Eric Rodriguez, Luis Rivera, Brett Kaiser, Kerem Buckery, podcaster, who has made backroom deals with Chris Delgado and profited from the Ponzi scheme, Brandon Castaneda, Douglas and Stacey Schenkman, Diana Vargas, Vanessa Renee Peña-Troveo, Canada, Javier Nola, London House, with many allegations of sex trafficking.
Yeah, I don't like reading stuff like that. But I'm going to do something funny, which I shouldn't do, but I can't help myself. But I gate crash, Zoom meetings quite a lot, and sometimes they don't like me, and they kick me out. So we've come up with all these names that when you read them, they don't sound bad, but when you hear them, when you read them out loud, they do sound bad. And I'm just going to read them for your entertainment. Just take a break, but listen to these. Some of them are terrible.
Lovett Dobson, Suggan D's Nuts, Ben Dover, Seymour Butts, Holden McGroin, Ivana Tinkle, Craven Moorhead, Hugh Juss, Dixie Normus, Mike Hunt, Anita Mann, Eileen Dover, Phil McCracken, C. Hayward Jablome, Amanda Higinkis, Seymour Hinney, Master Bates, Wayne Kerr, Al Bibak, Barry Mikakina, Chuck U. Farley, Gay Bitch, Lou Sassol, Patio Furniture, Stu Pidasso, Willie Stroker, and Al, Broccoli, El Avada, Emma Pig, Justin Case.
I think you get the idea, but it's just quite funny when you're in a Zoom meeting and they go, somebody remove, bend over. But yeah, it's something fun. But anyway, when I was reading out those names today, some of those names, I probably could add some of them to my list. Hey, but look, just because people are on this list doesn't necessarily mean they are guilty of anything. They're just people of interest. And that's because we see them out schmoozing. And that's because we email people and they don't write us back. So if you want to clear your name, this is the important disclaimer. Being listed on here does not mean these people are guilty of crime. They are simply persons of interest that we are monitoring. If you believe someone should be added or removed, please contact us. And you can literally go off to my website and it will take you to a form where you can, talk to us anonymously if you like. And that's where we get a lot of our intel from. So thank you very much for the people that have given us. Click on my contact us button and you'll find this form and you can basically put anonymous@gmail.com if you want to. And we also, any information like if you've invested, how much you've invested, how much money you've made back, just to give us an indication on how big a scale this really is. Because I'm going to be up early tomorrow, and this database is going to be handed over to another government agency. So I've actually done something I don't normally do, but I've actually put the persons of interest and all the photos and all the people that are interested actually, so you can double click on it and download it. So why does it matter? Why am I here doing this? This is what the next part's all about.
Why this matters. This is not about one man in Orlando. A $500 million Ponzi scheme is unraveling, with money laundered through real estate deals, cars, luxury jets, and even charities. Every organization that accepted Delgado's checks and turned a blind eye helped keep the illusion alive.
Yeah, that's the truth of the matter. I mean, take the money, you're actually taking stolen money, and that's, to me, it's just not right.
When clawbacks begin, these same organizations may be forced to return funds. When indictments land, their names will be in the filings. Silence will not protect them.
Yeah, I can't express that enough, but don't wait for somebody to come and grab you physically and say, stop. Listen to the signs, guys. Oh, here we go.
The call for accountability. I will continue to publish the receipts, contracts, newsletters, audits, promises, and lies. But I also want to make it very clear. Those who stay silent are part of the story. Your names will show up in lawsuits and indictments. Your money will be frozen. If you are on this list and you believe you have nothing to hide, the solution is simple. Answer the questions. Show transparency. Disclose if you've gotten your money out or not.
Just imagine that you're just going about your business, you've invested and you've made some unreal money real quick, and then all of a sudden you go to use your ATM machine at the supermarket, whatever, your card, and it's all your funds are frozen. Because as soon as you've received any of this dirty money, you're buggered. And if it's happened 6 months ago or a year ago, you're buggered. Because they will follow the money. These guys we've got 3 banks involved at the moment that we know of, and the money is tracked. You know, you deposited money into this. So if you deposited money into any of, Christopher's bank accounts, you're stuffed. If you gave him a pile of cash, you're an idiot. But he spent that on lolly water, on champagne.
But if you keep ignoring reality, then when the hammer falls, and it will, you'll be remembered not as a bystander, but as an enabler. I'll expose any criminals who have invested into this, anyone complicit in helping Chris Delgado, and anyone who has accepted gifts or done deals that make no economic sense.
It doesn't make any sense what he's claiming he can do with the money. It's just a lie. I mean, anyone that's gone to university and studied finance will realize that what he says he's doing isn't possible, guys.
Final word. I've always said, Ponzi schemes thrive in the dark. They need silence, they need complicity, and they need people to look the other way. That's why this blog exists. To put names on record, to show who was asked, and who chose to say nothing. Christopher Delgado may be the ringleader, but everyone else who promoted, hosted, or took his money without asking questions is now at risk of going to prison with him.
Do you want to go to prison because you want to trust me, bro? I mean, that's the truth of the matter. And that's how serious this is. Christopher's not, we can't just take somebody off the street because the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger says he's running a Ponzi scheme. They have to go through and follow all the paperwork and get everything. If I told you who I was speaking to tomorrow, Christopher would wet his pants. No matter if he's even got Tomo protecting him and his big muscle. That's insane.
Soon I'll be outlining the links between Chris Delgado and celebrities such as Brandon Bass, Jason Derulo, Jackie Siegel, and Odell Beckham Jr. Realtors such as Diane Despoilks, Wael Georgey, and Shumala Assad. And a new focus is feeder funds like Prime Ledger Capital LLC, which have used separate brands to raise funds from Canada and elsewhere.
Yeah, we're diving deep here, guys, and we haven't even really started. And now we're going to have some help from some people. Right, so if this is your first time you've watched us and you're sitting here thinking, oh, well, he hasn't got any proof and he hasn't shown us anything. Well, this is our 10th blog that I've done in about 3 or 4 weeks. The first one highlighted the glossy promises and the shaky contracts, the compliance and how they had insurance. Total bullshit. We broke that down. the smear campaign. They were claiming that we were talking about them to smear their great name. Well, they don't have a great name, and they said that I was jealous. Okay, their bookkeeper vanished. Yes, their bookkeeper on the 2nd of December closed her company down in the state of Florida, and on the 3rd of September, they reopened it in Wyoming. We thought they were closing it down to hide the bookwork. If you close a company down and you've got people who have invested in that company, all the money's meant to be paid back. They have also, we heard intel today that they are sending cease and desist letters to people who are informing me of information. Does that sound like a legitimate company? Why have they claimed that I've got a 10-page cease and desist letter that I used as toilet paper? Sorry about that, Christopher. And you allege that you've hired a New Zealand company, lawyer firm to come after me. One of the biggest lawyers in America has said to me, there's no way in hell they'll do that because they will land on their sword. They won't want to do discovery. And I said, I've already had a company try and do that to me, and I won. They filed a discontinuance an hour and a half before the High Court judge here in New Zealand opened it. It was amazing. That was for 3.8 million, claiming defamation, and the guy was a scammer. I've even had a guy tell me that I caused him to have a stroke, and he's telling everyone that he's suing me for $300,000 to pay for his medical bills, and he's sitting there puffing away on a video that we recorded him when he didn't realise. So I don't know if he knew that, but smoking contributes to strokes, but it was crazy. Okay, so the bookkeeper vanished and they removed her away. Fake audits, that was when we looked at a whole blog on how they did a fake audit, independent audit from someone who works for the company. It was crazy. I'll never get that name right. FinCEN registration, they're not registered. They're not registered to handle any money. There's two states that we checked under all their company variants, and we couldn't find any registration. So the whole blog. Now we talk about clawbacks. So that's a real thing. So if you've got more money than you've put in, your principal, and you think it's yours, the government will claw it back. They will bankrupt you if they have to get that money back because it's not yours and you shouldn't have taken the money. Unfortunately, you didn't do enough due diligence. The security question, and that was whether the paper, the contracts that you have, are they worth the paper they're written on? No, they're not. But we've got evidence there in that blog. And then we gave you an example of what a real company would look like. And I really enjoyed doing that blog because it didn't look anything like Goliath Ventures Inc. Nothing at all. They were completely different. So it was a real company would have this, a board of directors, not people flying around in jet airplanes showing off their lifestyle to prove that it's legitimate, or just schmoozing with everyone. And then number 10 is this blog, stolen money, gifts, and uneconomical deals. I think I'm saying that right, am I? Uneconomical?
Uneconomical.
Yeah, things that don't add up. And if you're taking money from these guys, you really need to stop. Even if you're hosting them, having events, it's not their money. You're facilitating a criminal. Hey, if you wonder how I get all my information, well, I have a team of Avengers and we do open source intelligence investigations. Everything that we find is from people. We look up records, archive web pages, for example, like what's his name? I've forgotten his name already, but the jet ski guy that we showed you, he blocked his website, but we managed to use the Wayback Machine and find his old version of his website. And social media, domain name data, we find things on the blockchain, lots and lots of things like that. So we've got a few. If you put money into Chris's and you used a crypto to do so, and he gave you a wallet address, we've got quite a few of those, but we're looking for more at the moment. So if you want to help us, do it now. Send me an email overnight. Just go to my website, send it to us anonymously. Just give us the website address. To put a wee note in there that it was a deposit address for Goliath Ventures Inc. And I have been in Bloomberg documentary. I've been featured in the New York Times as the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger. They gave me that name. They did a 2-page spread in the printed edition telling people about my why, how I go after people and name and shame people. Proud of who we are. There's a team of Avengers. These are all the people's names that we've put just in this blog. So that means if you search for your name, that one of these blogs will come up in the search results. And even if you search for Goliath Ventures now, I assume that we're starting to control the search engines. Just to give you an idea how these guys are trying to stop me, my website's been getting denial server attacks quite majorly. My Reddit account has been suspended because they keep reporting me. My Instagram account that I've had for 15 years, they managed to report that and get that shut down. And also my TikTok account, they managed to shut that down too. So everything comes at a cost, but these guys don't want me talking about them. So if you want to support me in any which way or form, you can do that. And it takes me a lot of time and energy to put together these videos and blogs. This one here has taken me about 20 hours just to put together the blog. You can come to here and support me on my website, tehek.com, and you can just do a $5 donation, or you can become a member. On the right-hand side, we've got buy me a cup of coffee. Somebody bought me $500 worth of coffees the other day. See, you can see Earl bought me 100 cups of coffee just to say thank you and, supporting me in what I do. So don't be a stranger. I don't make money from YouTube. People often say to me, oh, he makes money from YouTube. I make about $400 a month at the moment. It went down to $240 a month about 2 months ago. And because I've been doing so much content, it creeps back up again. It's like a rev counter that keeps falling off every time you take your foot off the gas. So I do appreciate it. Oh, and Jelly Snack, lovely to see you, man. I'm here on the wrong time of day. I'm going to go to bed and get some sleep. It's 20 to 2 in the morning. And it's lovely to see you. I haven't been with my normal Avengers very often. But we've just done a big breakdown of the latest happening with Chris Delgado and Goliath Ventures Inc. So it's really important, guys, if you have invested and you think that you're just going to keep quiet, unfortunately, if we find you, which we will, it's going to be worse. And unfortunately, if you have made more money than you've put in, then you have to, that will get clawed back, and you should really contact me, and I'll put you in touch with authorities, and we'll make sure that you've done your utmost to, keep your name clean. And if we do write you an email, it doesn't mean that we're trying to throw you under the bridge, but we're trying to entrap you. We just want to know what your involvement is. And being silent, well, you just saw what happened to the 15 or 20 people that decided to remain silent. We have got some people who are asking us to remove their name from the website, and then they say that then they will provide us some information. So that's not how it works. You provide us the information. Unfortunately, we can't remove your name once it's on there, because with these videos, we're pretty transparent about who we've got and what we've got. That's me. And I just feel a bit mean that Jelly Snacks just turned up. She's one of my supporters for a long time. And thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next video. I'll go to bed and get some sleep. Thanks, guys.